Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. I watch short videos of murder cases, and all the murderers have broken their defenses. Liu Yu downloaded an app and surprisingly shared the short videos he came across with Wanjie. Shuagongzi Fusu held a heavy army but ended up dead. Who killed him? Sulong. What? My beloved son has been killed. Li Si, Zhao Gou. I was stunned. Don't play like this. The calamity of brushing witchcraft and witchcraft has caused the exhausted empire to lose its generous air. Who poisoned Lu Ju? Lu Che. I want to see who dares to make me lose my son in my later years. Lu Ju. I'm convinced. I didn't win the rebellion either. It's better to throw directly like Fu Su. During the Yangshi rebellion, the prosperous Tang dynasty was destroyed by a fat man Emperor Xuanzong of Tang. I have lived too long. Lure, explain and explain. And Liu Chan. My life is at rest. Brushing Yue Fei's wrongful death at the Storm Pavilion, 10 years of hard work, but once abandoned, who is the mastermind behind it? Yue Fei. It turns out that after fulfilling loyalty and righteousness, we can only achieve such an ending, and since then Qin Hui. Worry. Don't run away, Wanyan go. I can't carry this pot alone. As each video was shared, many difficult endings did not happen again. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Making money by brushing videos and mysterious rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Miss, the elevator here is broken. Can't I climb up on the 23rd floor? Could you please come down and pick up your meal? Liu Yu gasped for breath and answered the phone. Today is particularly dark. I don't know where to check and repair. There are power outages everywhere. The first few floors were lower, so I climbed. Now on the 23rd floor the next round trip, not to mention the timeout, is enough to get up the next day. Why can't you come up? You don't have legs. Didn't I just order takeout and try to deliver it to your door? Miss, please forgive each other. Shut up. If you keep nagging, I'll file a complaint against you. Underclass people are just not promising, they can't even understand such a simple matter of delivering meals. Liu Yu fell silent. Immediately hung up the phone. I can't stay in this big city for a day anymore. Go home and throw yourself on the bed. Just as I wanted to relax, I unlocked the screen and received a new text message. Your installment payment of 15 Pro Max is due for repayment of 1,314.52 yuan. Please repay it promptly. Shua. SMS made Liu Yu even more vulnerable. I remember breaking up with my girlfriend a few days ago. The installment phones are far from over. The man's self-esteem prevented him from saying he wanted his phone back at the time. It's really foolish to think about it now. How to relieve worries, only Douyin. The so-called escape from reality is temporary pleasure, and constantly avoiding it is always enjoyable. Liu Yu felt that if it weren't for relaxing for such a period of time every day, he really feels that life is not very interesting. If I could make money by playing Douyin, how great it would be. Liu Yu is not someone who pursues material enjoyment. But with money, at least you don't have to let the hustle and bustle occupy all of your life. Ding. Host wish detected, Wanjie sharing system activating. Please be patient and don't forget to breathe. To ensure that you are a real person, please drag the scroll bar to the appropriate position and complete the image. Liu Yu. Drag successful. The system has been activated. We will automatically download the Wanjie sharing app for you. Installation successful. Note 1. The app will push videos from various short video platforms according to the host's preferences and synchronously release them to various levels of time and space. Note 2. For each short video played by the host, they will receive a minimum reward of 20 yuan in soft coins, which can be withdrawn at any time. Note 3. If the video being posted causes a huge sensation, it may trigger a mysterious reward. Liu Yu was slightly taken aback. System. To the north. You finally came. Liu Yu, as a young and ambitious person in the new era. Short videos and online articles are a constant. The existence of the system is not unfamiliar to him. Wanjia sharing system. Do you have a dedicated app? Exit Douyin and find a new app on the screen. The icon is also a note, but it is colorful and the color is constantly changing. It's cooler than the 91 soy milk and Douyin next to it. As long as you watch the video inside, you'll have money to take it. Give me another 20 yuan. I'm so tired that I don't even have that much money to give away a single order. It's so satisfying, isn't it? Liu Yu had a genuine sense of surprise. It is precisely in response to that poem. When the boat reaches the bridge, it naturally straightens, and when dozing off, someone passes a pillow. Amazing. What are you waiting for? Brush it up. Liu Yu directly clicked on the new app. Host. Liu Yu, status. Physical fatigue, mental excitement, skill. None, video views viewed. 0, reward accumulation. 0, withdrawable amount. 0, the opening page of the app has no advertisements or beautiful girls. The brief stay includes Liu Yu's personal information and the current usage of the software. After entering the app, the interface will be similar to Douyin. However, it is relatively simpler, with only 2 pages. One is the video page, and next to it is the information page of Liu Yu. It said that if the system produces, it must be a masterpiece. Let me try and see if that's what it's all about. Liu Yu clicked on the first video. The copy is. Her eyebrows and eyes are like knives, I can't take any action. In the picture, a little sister with exquisite makeup, dressed in a snow-white long dress, is dancing a sword by the lake. The BGM rang out. The red world comes and goes without a trace. When drunk, I sing to my old friends, but I see no joy or love for thousands of miles. In my dreams, the clear and bright rain falls one after another. Outside of my dreams, the sound of Hujia resounds in waves. In the play, I sing about how many times life brings back spring. Dash down. The second video. The ruthless person who only ends up with the title of the drama. This drama should be called Legend of Jiang Yuyan or Survivor List. The third video. My master only taught me until I saw the iron filigree. Whether I learned it or not has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with who I seek revenge from. My life or death has nothing to do with you. When it's done, we don't owe each other. The fourth video. Generally, it's not as good as a bowl of old duck soup. Next are costume videos, cute pet videos, parody voiceovers, historical figures, big case documentaries, and suspense movies. Not long after, I finished watching 10 videos. These are still the last 3 videos that are slightly longer. And it happens to be the field that Liu Yu likes to watch in his daily life. So I paused reading the comments for a while. Otherwise, it would be even faster. Liu Yu slid right to the next page. Host. Liu Yu, status. Slightly fatigued body, relaxed mind, skill. None, video views viewed. 10, reward accumulation. 200, withdrawable amount. 200, withdrawal all. Liu Yu clicked on the withdrawal button with some uncertainty. Withdrawal successful, your bonus has been dispersed, please check your account carefully, buzz. Soon, a text message followed. Your bank card with ending number 9898 has received 200 yuan, and the current balance is 220.57, surprisingly, it has actually been credited to the account. This is the issuance. A video costs 20 yuan, and if there are differences in length, it's considered an average of 1 video per minute. You can brush at least 60 in an hour, that's 1,200 yuan. So, as long as I spend about 8 hours browsing every day, I can earn over 10,000 yuan a day. Liu Yu understood this account and felt an unprecedented sense of satisfaction in his heart. What are you waiting for? Brush it up. And just as Liu Yu swiped the screen, all heavens and all realms, in the endless space and time plane. Throughout history, even parallel time and space. At the same time, a huge canopy spanning between heaven and earth appeared. Chapter 2. Wu Zetian's identity exposed, Wu Meiniang. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The sky curtain stands in the center of heaven and earth. Everyone can look up and see it clearly. Just as they were all puzzled by this scene, a beautiful woman suddenly appeared on the sky in a white long dress. Then he immediately danced to the music and flipped his long sword in his hand. It's as graceful as a startled swan and as graceful as a wandering dragon. Almost everyone was stunned by this scene. The great Qin time and space. Zulong Yingzheng sat upright on the throne in the main hall. The eunuch beside him shouted loudly. Yan envoys Jing Ku and Qin Hui come forward to present pictures. Under the steps. 2 middle-aged men quickly lowered their heads and climbed up the stairs upon hearing the sound. Breathing out. Thank you, King. The steps are very high, waiting to climb to the top. Jing Ku, with a cold and stern face, showed no abnormality. Qin Hui, the most muscular figure, was sweating profusely and trembling like a sieve of bran. Upon seeing this, Yingzheng became suspicious. Wave your hand to stop the two from moving forward. And the soldiers surrounded the two. What is the explanation? Jing Ku sighed in his heart and cursed Qin Hui as a waste. But he said in his mouth, I dare not deceive the king. This trip is for Yan Kingdom to call for villains to come and kill the king. There was an uproar in the hall. Ministers are rushing to protect the king of Qin. Yingzheng signaled to be unobstructed and said in a cold voice. King Yan, are you going to kill me? So, the map is also fake. Jing Ku, however, resigned and said helplessly. The picture is real. This is the picture of the Yan Kingdom's Dukong. Surrounded by 4 rivers, this place is rich in resources and abundant in people, which can be compared to the fertile fields of Guangzhou in the state of Qin. The slowly unfolding map attracted the heart and soul of the king of Qin. He couldn't help but get closer and closer. Seeing that Yingzheng was within 1 step of himself, Jing Ku was overjoyed in his heart. And just as he was about to make a desperate decision, suddenly, strange music came from the air. The world of mortals comes and goes without a trace, and when drunk, one sings of the past. The sudden shock slowed Jing Ku's movements for a moment. I just touched the dagger, but it hasn't been pierced yet. And Yingzheng was also interrupted by the music, looking up. But I saw a beautiful woman dancing with a sword. I suddenly thought it was an assassin and withdrew quickly. Jing Ku regained his senses and stood still with a dagger, dumbfounded wait for the soldiers to handle the 2 assassins. Yingzheng's gaze towards the sky curtain changed from shock to surprise. Is it true that this is blessed by heaven? I am indeed destined by fate. Great Han time and space. During the reign of Emperor Gaozu, Liu Bang reluctantly withdrew his gaze. Murmured. What makeup does this beauty have? How beautiful is she? Be sure to have the painter record it and promote women around the world to follow suit. Liu Ji, beside him, leaned against Liu Bang in jealousy. Gently pinched the soft flesh on his waist. Not following the Tao. Does the king think that woman is more beautiful than me? Would it be better to summon her into the palace? Liu Bang chuckled and perfunctorily said. Don't talk nonsense. The sky curtain is so divine, maybe that person is a fairy from the heavenly palace. As the two of them talk. The second short video will arrive soon. In the picture, a beautiful woman with hair bangs. Dressed in an imperial robe, his eyes spoke coldly. A stinky man like you who doesn't know anything, I can easily grab a bunch of them. Why do you think you deserve me? If it weren't for you, my future path would be much easier. Flashing scenes in the video. The woman, despite being the emperor's consort, refused to save the unconscious emperor. Instead, he killed the guards who arrived, and the thief shouted to catch the thief. An assassin was assassinating him. Wait until the video ends. Lu Bang and LVG both fell into silence. Empress, you won't open any doors to a new world because of this, will you? Lu Bang squinted his eyes. LVG was greatly shocked in his heart. Who is this Jime? He dares to wear even the imperial robe, even more ruthless than me. Tang Dynasty time and space. Li Er is already in his old age. Accompanied by the newly crowned concubine, talented Wu Meiniang. And Li Ji, who is about to inherit the throne. He wants to give Li Ji the final instruction in his limited life. And in such occasions, Wu Meiniang can listen in. It shows the degree of its favor. Li Er struggled to support his upper body and said earnestly, what is difficult to establish, easy to lose. It's the state. What is easy to lose and rare. It is the throne of the emperor. Li Ji was heartbroken and about to say something. But suddenly the sky curtain unfolded. All three were attracted. The first video was okay. All three of them had extraordinary appearances, and they didn't take it seriously when they saw a beautiful woman. But on the second one, Li Er and Li Ji couldn't help but frown. How dare a woman wear an imperial robe? What a great rebellion! Wu Meiniang was even more shocked and her heart trembled. So I'm not the first woman who dares to think like this. How can sisters have succeeded? Fortunately, she concealed herself in a timely manner and was not noticed by the two of them as her expression changed. But when it comes to the third short video, Wu Meiniang's sweat and hair all stood up. Because what flashed through that scene was the figure of Wu Zetian. And it was explicitly mentioned that it was the Tang dynasty. After Li Ji's death. Brush. The room was eerily quiet. Only three people's breathing sounds are clearly audible. Li Er looked at Li Ji and thought to himself. You rebellious son, you don't even let go of your father's woman. Did you let her take away the country? Li Ji looked at Wu Meiniang and thought to himself. Okay. I'll teach you how to govern the court. Are you doing this? Wu Meiniang. Damn it, destroy it. What else are you playing with? Chapter 3. A Misfortune of Witch and Gu, two top emperors. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Next, it was the Song Dynasty's Time and Space. Daming Time and Space. Qing Dynasty's Time and Space. Even today's parallel spacetime. Every time and space. Every different period. Everyone was shocked by the appearance of the sky curtain. Just big and small. And the fate of certain people, the outcome of certain events. A transformation has also quietly occurred. The next few videos. Not able to stir up any waves. Until after a while. The emergence of a new video. The title is The Exhausted Empire Lost Its Generous Heir, and the Cruel Father Lost His Filial Son #history #Lu Ju #The Disaster of Witch and Gu #The Han Dynasty The Great Qin Time and Space. In the later period of Emperor Shi Huang. When Yingzheng saw the title, he was still sighing. Losing the crown prince would be too tragic, but fortunately, my friend Fusu is doing well. If I hand over all 300,000 border troops to him, there is no possibility of any accidents. But soon I saw the # title below. Doubted. Does this Han dynasty mean divine horse? Is it possible that my great Qin has not been passed down to generations? How could this be? Soon, accompanied by the poignant BGM of 3,000 weak waters, the screen began to play. History is always astonishingly similar, but tragedies have their own differences. In 91 BC, Crown Prince Liu Ju drew his sword and killed Jiang Chong. Facing the conspiracy of the prime minister and eunuchs, Liu Ju made a different choice from the crown prince Fu Su of the Qin dynasty. With the support of Empress Wei Zifu, he was appointed as the guard of Changle Palace. Open the arsenal, take out weapons, arm the citizens and pardon the prisoners. The army led by Prime Minister Liu Tsui fought fiercely for 5 days, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths and injuries. Chang'an City was flooded with blood, and in the end, they were defeated and fled. The Empress and Crown Prince committed suicide one after another. The whole family was destroyed, and only Liu Bing, who was in swaddling clothes, had escaped death. The 2-year witchcraft disaster has come to an end, and it is a human tragedy without a winner. The exhausted empire lost its generous heir, and the cruel father lost his filial son. Nearly 400,000 people were implicated and the country's foundation was shaken. The powerful Western Han dynasty began to decline from prosperity to decline. When Ying saw it halfway, I was completely stunned. Liu Ju made a different choice from the crown prince Fu Su of the Qin dynasty. History is always astonishingly similar, but tragedies have their own differences. These 2 sentences are like the most poisonous arrows in the world, piercing straight into Ying Zheng's heart. He felt his heart suddenly tighten, as if being mercilessly grasped by fate's big hand. The widow's Fusu died. Will I not only lose the great Qin, but also my son? Fusu has a 300,000 strong army, how could it be like this? How could it be like this? Suddenly, Ying Zheng remembered another sentence from the video. Facing the conspiracy of the prime minister and eunuchs. He stood up and looked down at Li Si in the main hall. Li Si knelt on the ground, shaking like a puddle of mud. My life, rest. Great Han time and space. In the later years of Emperor Wu of Han, Prince Liu occupies the palace. A soldier anxiously reported. Crown Prince, it's not good, Crown Prince. Jiang Chong and his team have dug up many puppets and witchcraft books in your study. What's written above are all words of great rebellion and heresy. Liu Ju's expression of concern quickly became firm again. Since my father has entrusted me to inquire about the court's affairs while he is not around, I cannot let such things go unchecked. Listen to the order, go with the Crown Prince to capture Jiang Chong. At night, the light of the torch shone on the soldier's armor, revealing a strange red color. Liu Ju led his men to stop Jiang Chong who was coming towards him. Take it down. With a command, the soldiers approached and captured Jiang Chong. The Crown Prince is plotting rebellion. Jiang Chong didn't struggle, just shouted in his mouth. Jiang Chongkai is daring to rebel. Liu Ju drew his sword, and the blade pressed tightly against Jiang Chong's neck, piercing with cold. Crown Prince, don't be impulsive. I humbly serve the Emperor's decree. Liu Ju sneered and said. The Emperor also has a decree that the Crown Prince oversees state affairs. You are now forging an edict to rebel, and I will execute you now. After speaking, a sword ended Jiang Chong's life. Detain all soldiers, burn these witches, and immediately go to Changle Palace, Weiyang Palace. Open the arsenal. Until Liu Ju saw his mother, Wei Zifu. Wei Zifu is drooping old, and his head has already grown with beautiful hair. But the wind and frost on the temples still cannot conceal their astonishing charm. She looked at her son with concern. Liu Ju, what happened? Mother, Jiang Chong and his team are planning to frame me up. I think the arrow is on the string now, we have to fire it. I am preparing to issue an edict to all the officials and officials as the crown prince of the country. Wei Zifu was slightly taken aback and then smiled happily. Ha ha ha, I see how you look now. You really look like Liu Chai's son. I laugh at you for bearing decades of cowardly reputation in vain. Okay. Even if it's death, we must die pure and innocent. I feel proud to have a son like you. Soon, Chang'an City fell into chaos. Everyone says that the crown prince has turned against him. Eunuch Su Wen panicked and fled to the Gongquan palace. Inform Liu Chai who is recuperating here. The crown prince has turned against him. Liu Chai did not panic, but instead said to his son with great understanding. The crown prince must be too scared. He was forced to do so by Jiang Chong. I sent someone to call the crown prince for questioning, and everything naturally became clear. But who knew that the people sent were timid and didn't dare to enter Chang'an at all? He returned to report that the crown prince's rebellion was true, and if he ran slower, he would also be killed. At the same time, Prime Minister Liu Zetian also brought the same news. Liu Chai was completely enraged. I don't even care about the mysterious appearance of the sky curtain not long ago. And just as he was about to issue an edict to suppress the rebellion, the latest video caught his attention. The Empress and Crown Prince committed suicide one after another. The 2-year witchcraft disaster has come to an end, and it is a human tragedy without a winner. The foundation of the country was shaken, and the powerful Western Han dynasty began to decline from prosperity to decline. Liu Chai stumbled backwards and fell back onto the sickbed. He looked at the Prime Minister Liu Zetian and Eunuch Su Wen kneeling not far away. The burning anger in their eyes was enough to completely burn out the 9 tribes of the 2. What a bunch of unruly officials and thieves, what a bunch of cunning and sycophantic people. It's all because of your 2 mistakes. I almost want to make a big mistake and lose my beloved son. Liu Zetian and Su Wen cried bitterly and shouted for help. I never imagined it in my heart. It's just a planned action. How could someone predict it in advance now? This really confuses all 9 tribes. In Chang'an City, Crown Prince Liu Ju and his mother Wei Zifu. After watching the video, hugging and crying. It must be a manifestation of the immortal family, who gave me and my son a fair treatment. Wei Zifu is here to express his gratitude to the immortal family for their great kindness. Ding, the video just released has had a huge impact in both time and space. Trigger mysterious reward. Lifespan of 1 year. Can be extracted at any time, with unlimited targets. Chapter 4. No more foolish loyalty. My Yue Fei. Not breaking through Bian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Yu is watching the video comments. Upon seeing the pop.up system message, he exclaimed in surprise. 1 year lifespan. Unlimited target. Is it okay to extract it from others? Yes, host. The system answered Lu Yu's question. Lu Yu really wants to extract it and try adding 1 year of lifespan to see what the effect is. But when I think of my parents who are still working at home. He restrained himself. I am still young, so the best lifespan for my parents is 1 year. Keep scrolling. Maybe there's still a chance to trigger mysterious rewards. Lu Yu closed the comments section and with a gentle swipe, a new video appeared. Southern Song Dynasty Time and Space. During the reign of Emperor Gaozong of Song, Yue Fei led the Beiwei army, facing the capital city of Bian. Just wait for the teacher to wave up, and you can directly attack the yellow dragon. However, gold medals were sent one after another. Within a day, there are 12 gold medals urging the class teacher. Yue Fei looked at the Bianjing city in front of him. Caught in a dilemma. He noticed the sky curtain that had appeared before. But I don't care. He only existed for the purpose of reclaiming rivers and mountains throughout his life. Everything else is illusory. Young Master Fusu, it is regrettable that he committed suicide at first sight. The calamity of witchcraft and witchcraft, father and son's mutual harm, is also very distressing. But ultimately, it has turned into the dust of history. And he is creating history. He knows that this step is either forward or backward. History will all become different. But soon, the new video interrupted his thoughts. Because he heard a familiar voice. That's he himself. Charge, charge. We've hit Bianjing. I dreamt that we had reached Bianjing. Under the passionate words, heavy snowfall falls on the screen. Yue Fei, dressed in shackles, looked up at the sky, his eyes desolate. As the screen turned, it was already the prime season of spring. Yue Fei, who was full of energy, wore a silver helmet and a resolute gaze. The city of Bianjing is ahead, 13 years ago. 13 years of humiliation and mourning, 13 years of broken mountains and rivers. What are we waiting for? Let's just smash the yellow dragon. Drink with all the gentlemen. The soldiers drank the wine in their cups, and their passion for wielding swords against their enemies soared into the sky. Just wait for tomorrow, and you will be able to shed your shame before. Rotate the screen again. Zhao Gou in the temple. Watching the people come one after another to pay homage to Yu Wumu. Offering him the most devout prayer. With jealousy rising in his eyes, he said softly. In the eyes of the people, Yue Fei is the true emperor of the Song dynasty. Hurry up and give Yue Fei another gold medal. If he doesn't return to Beijing, he will be executed without mercy. The eunuch cautiously advanced. Your Majesty, if you continue to win, it will be the 12th gold medal. The screen switches back to the military camp. Yue Fei still chose to return to Beijing. Fulfill one's loyalty and righteousness. The soldiers wept bitterly to stay. You can't leave, Marshal Yu. The people were crying uncontrollably. I beg of you. I am willing to follow my subordinates and kill them to Huanglong Mansion. Rotate the screen again. Yue Fei was already in the prison, covered in blood stains from being whipped. Qin Hui, dressed in luxurious attire in front of him, arrogantly ridiculed Yue Fei and said. From now on, you will be remembered for eternity, while I will remain infamous for eternity. Anyway, today's loser is you, I am the winner. If I say you have committed any crime, then you have committed any crime. I, Qin Hui, will write the history of the great Song dynasty. And you, Yue Fei, are just a chess piece in my Qin Hui's eyes. The officials on the side read out the imperial edict issued by Zhao Gou. Yue Fei rebelled and was executed, while Yu Yun and Zhang Xian were executed. Wanshou Guanshi, why don't you quickly raise your hand and draw the inscription? At the end of the screen. It's a few faint lines of words and sentences. After Yue Fei was released from prison, the generals of the Yu family army Wang Jun, Wang Gui, Yao Zheng, Fu Xian, Dong Xian, Su Qing, Pang Rong, Li Xing, Li Dao they all signed on the fabricated false accusation letters. Accuse Yue Fei and Yu Yun's father and son of rebellion. After Yue Fei was killed, he celebrated and celebrated. The people of Linen celebrated throughout the city that the court had eliminated traitors for the country. Singing praises to Emperor Gaozong, his wise eyes are like torches, discerning loyalty and treachery. Yue Fei's wife and children were all exiled to the Lingnan area and could not leave for life. After arriving at the place, there was also a lack of food and clothing. The hardships involved are unimaginable. But that's it, there are still people who petition the court. Suggest not distributing rations to Yue Fei's family. We must eradicate the grass and starve them to death. After Yue Fei was exonerated, people once again flocked to the streets. The cheering of the court's divine eyes is like lightning, allowing the eternal injustice to be brought to justice. The video ends. Yue Fei's eyes were filled with tears, and his lips moved. I feel like I have 1,000 words in my heart, wanting to shout between this world. But he is also the commander of the three armies. Every move affects the morale and confidence of the army. Go back and fulfill your loyalty and righteousness, leaving a lasting impression in history. But even though they died, the people of the north still lived in dire straits all day long. It can only be considered foolish loyalty. If you don't respond, you will inevitably bear the stigma of rebellion. But it can save countless people. You can take back this beautiful river and mountain. All the generals listen. Forget about all the gold medals for me. Yue Fei. If I don't break through Bianjing, I swear not to return it. Chapter 5 Liu Chan. If I were Zhao Gou, I should lift my head and pour it out. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Three Kingdoms Time and Space. After the fall of Shu Han, Liu Chan was invited to the banquet today. The banquet was organized by Sima Zhao. Specially for entertaining him, the captured and surrendered Lord of Shu. There were also Shu people around who surrendered with him, all appearing trembling. Liu Chan felt sad in his heart, but on the surface, he dared not show any trace. During the banquet, Sima Zhao excessively arranged the traditional artistic songs and dances of Shu. The people of Shu can no longer suppress their grief. They all covered their faces and wept. Liu Chan remained indifferent. On the contrary, I watched with great interest. Sima Zhao looked at him playfully. Speaking to Minister Jia Chong. How ruthless are humans. If Zhuge Kongming were still alive, perhaps he might not be able to maintain his position as the Lord of Shu. Jia Chong smiled. If it weren't for this, how could your highness destroy Shu? The two looked at each other and smiled. Sima Zhao paced to Liu Chan's side and asked softly. Watching this song and dance today, can we reminisce about the ancient land of Shu in Japan? Liu Chan felt tears swirling in his eyes. The feeling of depression and guilt in his heart almost broke through his chest. He lowered his head, raised his glass and drank heavily, suppressing his sadness. Also squeeze out a smiling face. Here's music, I don't miss Shu either. Sima Zhao laughed heartily, patted his shoulder, and left satisfied. Not long after, a sky curtain appeared between heaven and earth. Liu Chan felt novel, but unfortunately, he didn't have the mood to watch at this moment. Until the video of Yue Fei appeared. He just looked in with great enthusiasm. Such a powerful army, such a genius commander, such an unparalleled general. How could a monarch refuse to trust him? Even willing to call back 12 gold medals to kill him. If the sky hangs its curtains, it can make a duo win this general. A Duden, with the power of the whole country, trusts and supports him. Never hold him back. Thinking of this, Liu Chan fell silent. After a while, Yu sighed and said. Xiangfu, he seems like you. Yue, I'm sorry. At this moment, I wonder if there is really a certain number in the dark. After this video ends. The next new video actually fulfilled Liu Chan's wish to some extent. Let him have the unparalleled commander of Yue Fei in another way. In this video, Liu Chan's soul penetrated into the Southern Song dynasty, replacing the original Zhao Gou. The video title is Adu sat alone in the main hall and murmured, "Dear wise minister, distant villain, Xiangfu, what I did didn't disappoint you, did I?" In the picture, Liu Chan disguised himself as Zhao Gou and learned about the current situation with the Jin people. He paced back and forth in confusion, muttering in fragments. I only had the land of Sichuan and Sichuan back then, and Zhao Gou, this kid, has half the land. Now, it would be great if my prime minister was present. By the way, where has Xiangfu gone? Liu Chan immediately went to search for historical books. After reading all night, I realized that originally, people like Xiangfu were not standard in every dynasty. He stayed up all night. The next day, he appeared in the court on time. Although he is lazy, he always goes up when he should. Above the court, there was a heated argument between the pro-war and pro-peace factions. Liu Chan had no idea for a moment. Looking at these civil officials and generals below, they are full of energy and energy. It is quite heroic. So he couldn't understand even more. Why look whatever you want? How can we not defeat the barbarians in the north? Xiangfu handled the southern barbarians so easily. Zhao Wei was also able to fight according to the north. Even the old thief Sun Quan next door can use the mountain to train soldiers. He doesn't understand at all. Seeing so many people in the Song dynasty. The Ministry of Revenue has such a long string of astronomical figures. The total number of armies in various regions is even more unimaginable than in previous lifetimes. How could it be like being chased by the golden man like lice? Rush to the sea. Hurry to Jiangnan. Sigh. How good would it be if these hundreds of thousands of soldiers could be given to Xiangfu? Qin Hui below stood up and interrupted Liu Chan's thoughts. He said passionately. Yue Fei's northern expedition was futile, only damaging the country's strength and angering the Jin people. Even to this day, it is only right now to follow the instructions of the Jin people and kill Yue Fei. Liu Chan thought to himself. Murder. There's no need for that. Why do we have to kill someone when we make peace? How big a mistake did Yue Fei make? Just adjust it a bit further. But he hasn't waited to speak yet. A loud scolding startled everyone, almost causing them to stumble. Nonsense. Retrieving mountains and rivers, the direction of the masses. If we continue to say that killing meritorious officials in vain is actually a self-destructive act. Liu Chan recognized this person as Han Shizhong, who had just been taken over from military power. The Jin people have great power. Abandoning a death row prisoner can protect us, the great Song people. Why not? Moreover, Yue Fei's army was far away from the court and difficult to control. If there is any contingency, what should we do? Qin Hui retorted with a cold look in his eyes. Qin Xiang, this is nonsense. General Yu was loyal and devoted, and after several years of the northern expedition, the military and civilians worked together. What's the saying of, just in case. The two of them had a heated argument. Liu Chan looked left and right, lost his mind. Back in the day, my second uncle, with his exceptional skills, was still able to dominate China. And Xiangfu and Jiangwei, based on the territory of one province, counted the Qishan Mountains. How come there are soldiers, food, land, and generals now? Why don't we let it go? Is the Jin dynasty in the north really so powerful now? 10 times more than Zhao Wei and Sima. So what should we do? Liu Chan looked down in a daze. Just now, a word deeply stimulated him. Northern Expedition. Northern Expedition. Liu Chanting stood up. If you don't attack the thieves, even the royal family will perish. Only sitting and waiting for death, who can defeat it? Under the court, there was an instant of silence. Han Shizhong looked up. Seeing the emperor's eyes seemed to catch fire. Chapter 6 Qin Hui. In order to make Yue Fei delicious and delicious. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If the heir can assist them. If they are not talented, you can take them on your own. My father told me that the northern expedition was more important than the throne. My father told me that the northern expedition is more important than life. Liu Chan suddenly patted the dragon chair. I am planning to embark on the northern expedition, drive out the Jin people, and restore our Han family to the world. Who is willing to take on this great responsibility for me? Outside the palace gate, a loud cry came. May I go? Yue Fei, dressed in regular clothes, strode in until he reached the front steps. The person who said the prime minister was his idol came over. What's your name? Oh, Yue Fei, right. Do you want to embark on the northern expedition? Let's talk about this. If we want to launch a northern expedition with overwhelming force, where should we send troops? Yue Fei was stunned for a moment, not expecting the emperor to ask this question. He looked at the map and pondered for a moment. When dividing into 3 armies, all the way out of Xiangyang, break through Luoyang, leaving Luzhou all the way, approaching places such as Su and Su, I thought it was appropriate. The rest of the way, Chilizu, towards Chang'an. Yue Fei was gesturing on the map. It seems like I have returned to the military camp. The Jin people are not afraid, and the people of the Central Plains have been eagerly awaiting Wang Shi for a long time. Before the northern expedition, the rebel army responded very well. The people welcomed each other through a narrow path. It can be seen that the foundation of the Golden Man is not yet stable. 3 paths advancing together, enough to shake the world. Conquering the Central Plains is just around the corner. Liu Chan doesn't understand military affairs. But he saw the places where Yue Fei gestured. Suddenly, I remembered what my father had said before. Move the army of Jingzhou towards Wanluo and lead the troops of Yizhou out of Qinchuan. Liu Chan asked again. What was the outcome of the northern expedition in the past? Yue Fei raised his head. Last year, I arrived at Zhuxian town as a soldier of the Song dynasty. Liu Chan looked at the map in surprise. That placed deep into the hinterland of the Jin dynasty. Okay. I didn't wait for everyone to react. Liu Chan patted the table and took the opportunity to catch the words. Yue Fei leads the order. Starting today, I will restore you as the military governor of Wusheng. Tai Wei, Xiao Bao, Kai Fui Tong San Si, and Yi Guogong. Control all armies and lead all the northern expedition military. I will be outside, and I will not accept your fate. General Yu, it is advisable to be self-reliant and not to report everything. Military aircraft should adapt to changing circumstances and not be bound by court etiquette. The march has come to a halt, General Self-Determination. If there are available people who can use it, please recommend it in a timely manner. I, General Ho, will triumph. Yue Fei's eyes were filled with tears. I lead the order. May the story of Marquis Wu be followed, and I will not disappoint your Majesty's trust. Qin Hui stared beside him with an incredulous expression. Time passes by carelessly. At the banquet, Li Gang spoke earnestly and urged the officials not to flee south. After listening for a while, Liu Chan asked. Can Chengdu be in our hands? In. Can Hanzhong be in our hands? In. What about Hefei? Also there. Since half of the country is in our hands, why run? Liu Chan stood up with his hands on the table and looked north, saying. Wang Yi is not biased, and Han thieves are not at odds. The only thing that worries me in my heart is the northern expedition. Li Gang's eyes widened and he sincerely raised his glass to pay homage. All the courtiers also bowed down together, and the mountain shouted, Long live! After 300 days of turmoil in the Central Plains. Finally waiting for a British lord who vows not to retreat south. Li Gang reminded. Yeah. Not only that, we also have 40,000 soldiers and horses. At this time, the front line is in a tight situation and urgently needs support. I earnestly request your Majesty to send troops for reinforcements. Liu Chan patted the table. Go. Send everyone out. The Jin people suffered heavy blows on the front line, so they instructed Qin Hui to speak up. Your Majesty, I see that this golden man is coming with great force. If he continues like this, he may even be able to eat. Liu Chan slammed his forehead and summoned the eunuch to deliver a message. Aiching reminded me, how can we fight if we don't eat well? Hurry up. Send everything you can fight and eat in the palace to the front line. Qin Hui was stunned, shaking his head like a tambourine. No, no. I didn't mean that. I want to say that Yue Fei's trip was costly and had already touched the bones and muscles of the great Song dynasty. And with the fierce battles ahead and the increasing fighting, our hatred towards the Jin people will also deepen. In the future, I'm afraid the people will be struggling. Liu Chan was horrified and startled, and panicked, saying, "How could it be so serious? Absolutely not. My father often taught me to prioritize the people. Now that the northern expedition is in a critical period, how can we suffer the people? Okay, Qin Xiang. Immediately gather the idle people in the palace and lead them to help the people farm." Qin Hui was greatly surprised. "Planting land. Your Majesty, I am a civil servant. My point is that the crux of the problem lies with Yue Fei. As long as he doesn't die, the Jin people won't give up. Why don't we kill him and select valuable gifts from the treasury to give to the Jin people? It can ease the relationship and prevent the people from suffering from war, do you think?" Liu Chan nodded in agreement and murmured. Indeed, General Yu caused the Jin people to retreat step by step. Jin people also see it as a thorn in their side. Since that's the case, we must quickly get rid of Jin. Otherwise, in the long run, how much mental pressure should General Yu have? I've been saying, send more people, send more people. He insisted that it was already enough. What a person who loves to show off. Li Gang, I have instructed you to immediately count another batch of supplies. Then, lead a team of elite soldiers to escort and stay there. Give full support to General Yu. These 8 gold medals are also given to you, if he insists on refusing. Just use the gold medal to make sure he accepts it. Qin Hui stood on the side in a disorderly manner, with 1,000 words that were difficult to articulate. In the end, everything was reduced to 1. Chapter 7. The General Star has not fallen, the Emperor Star rises slowly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside Bianjing City. Yue Fei has ordered all the troops and horses. The soldiers looked at him. There is trust, hope, and longing. The Southern Song Court has always placed emphasis on literature over martial arts. The soldiers fought passionately. Is it for those high and mighty people? I wish I could put them to death. Is it an official who saves military expenses? No. They follow. Only Yue Fei is the only one. If General Yu is willing to be the emperor, everyone has thought about it this way. But no one dares to say it. But today, it's different. Just outside the capital city of Bian. What if it's just another time wearing a yellow robe? And these soldiers? He will also become a founding hero. Get the credit they deserve. Yue Fei looked back at those pairs of eyes. He knows. This time. Never retreat. There's nowhere to return either. Since we are determined to fight, let's turn it upside down. Whether it's the Jin people or the court. I, Yue Fei, will completely crush it. Only in this way can we establish a truly beautiful new world. Breaking through and then standing up is the key to rebirth. Unfortunately, my dream has always been really just to be a loyal minister and good general. Why didn't you meet the wise master? It's a lifelong regret. Yue Fei's face was cold, but he couldn't help but let out a sigh in his heart. I will give an order later. He was no longer destined to be a loyal minister. How will the history book write about him? He dare not think much. And at this moment, a new video appears. Liu Chan over there. He has read from history books. The ruler of integrity, lacking in exploration. During his reign, he strictly followed the instructions of Zhuge Liang as a mentor. Use up all the talents above one by one. Until there are no more wise people available. At first reading, Yue Fei felt that Liu Chan was not a qualified emperor. Because he failed to prevent the downfall of the Great Han. But later on, He grew up and became a general charging forward on the front line. Amidst countless hardships and struggles, we also have to endure the difficulties of the court and the suspicion of the emperor. He only then understood. Originally, for officials and even the people, Liu Chan is really good enough. I will be outside, and I will not accept your fate. General Yu, it is advisable to be self-reliant and not to report everything. Military aircraft should adapt to changing circumstances and not be bound by court etiquette. The march has come to a halt, General Self-Determination. If there are available people who can use it, please recommend it in a timely manner. I, General Ho, will triumph. In the picture, Liu Chan looked at Yue Fei with trust on his face. The voice firmly expresses one's sincerity. Off-screen, Yue Fei's eyes turned red. This feeling of being trusted by the emperor. He has never experienced it before. Originally, just looking at it, everyone felt so wonderful. Wait until we see the back. Liu Chan asked Qin Hui to take the lead in clearing land and farming. Collect all the palace supplies and send them to the front line. Continuously gather troops and horses to reinforce him. He even received consecutive gold medals, urging him to accept them. Yue Fei's heart was moved to the extreme. The soldiers couldn't help but shed tears on their front. After a while, Yue Fei tidied up his mood. It seems like the missing part of the whole person has been made up for. He has once again become as majestic and heroic as he was when he was young. Showing a bright and uplifting smile. With a wave of his big hand, he exudes an invincible aura. This heart is bright, don't be afraid of rumors and gossip. Brothers, let me kill you. The soldiers shouted in response. The morale instantly reached its peak. At this moment, the Beiwei army seemed to condense into a whole. Like a fierce tiger with a killing intent to the extreme, finally descending the mountain. Swallow the Bianjing city ahead in one gulp. Ding, the video just released has had a huge impact on a time and space. The general star did not fall, but instead a purple aura rose up, indicating the sign of becoming the Emperor Star, trigger mysterious reward. One time and space sightseeing card. Time and space sightseeing card. After use, you can choose to project into a time and space that has caused a huge impact, and stay for no more than 24 hours. Liu Yu was taken aback for a moment. There is an extra line under the column of withdrawable amount. Extractable props. Time and space sightseeing card X1. This thing seems a bit interesting. Unfortunately, it's just a projection and I can only be a spectator. Otherwise, if you take two good things casually, they will both come back as top notch cultural relics. But soon Liu Yu laughed again. I'm really used to living in poverty, now the money earned from watching videos is enough. Why do you still want those messy things? Besides, cultural relics cannot be bought or sold. Thinking through this, Liu Yu actually thinks it's the best way. A day trip to ancient times. This is really spicy Thai pants. Given that there are currently only 3 spacetimes available to go, Liu Yu is not in urgent need either. And we also need to continue making money. He then redirected to the video page. Move to the next video. The title is the Xuanwu Gate Incident. There can only be one crown prince today. Is it standing tall or standing tall? Let me make a decision for your majesty. Li Shimin #Xingtang #Xingguan Governance. Chapter 8. Li Shimin. Failure to kill may lead to future troubles. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Tang Dynasty Time and Space. On the eve of the Xuanwu Gate incident, Li Shimin just learned the news that his elder brother and third brother are going to take action against him tomorrow. He quickly summoned the most trusted subordinates to the Crown Prince's mansion for discussion. Not long after, Yuqi Jingda and Changsun Wuji, Fang Xianling, Du Ruhui, and other top talents in the Crown Prince's mansion. Hurry over and gather together. After Li Shimin reveals this extremely urgent news, there was not much panic among the few people. Obviously, there is already an expectation in the heart about this. Li Shimin is no exception. But the problem now is, we are in Chang'an City, with only 800 people. Li Shimin saw through the thoughts of his subordinates. Then he expressed his concerns. In Chang'an City, the power of Crown Prince Li Jianqing is undoubtedly the strongest. He has the overall military power in the capital, and there are also 2,000 guards in the Eastern Palace. And the third brother, Prince Qi Li Yuanji, has just obtained the military power to conquer the Turks. But his Qin prince's mansion only has a mere 800 guards. Using these 800 people to rebel is like hitting a stone with an egg. But in times of crisis. However, everyone in the Crown Prince's mansion showed a desperate spirit. Changsun Wuji said. 800 people, 800 people. 800 people are the first to take action. Your Highness, take action. Wei Qijingde also advised. We follow His Highness for the sake of wealth and honor. If we wait to die, then I will bid farewell and no longer serve His Highness. 800 people, let's go fight. Your Highness, all you need is a command. The King of Qin holds a bow, while Wei Qijingde holds a spear. Who else in this world can withstand it? As soon as the two of them spoke, others also responded. Full of fight. Fight. Your Highness, fight. Li Shimin nodded slowly and finally made up his mind. Several people carefully discussed the possible problems they might face. Design feasible solutions again. That night, the prince's mansion was brightly lit. Finally, Li Shimin sorted out the final action plan from beginning to end. After entering Xuanwu Gate, our troops first set out to ambush by the sea pond. I will go to the Ganlu Palace, wait for your majesty, force your majesty, abolish the crown prince, and demote the king of Qi. The subordinates all knelt down and shouted. Emperor. One of them was emotionally agitated. Climb up from the ground and take out the turtle shell from the cuffs. Hot cut path. I'll divine for your highness. Unexpectedly, the turtle shell has not been properly arranged yet. Just got kicked away with a fierce kick. Bastard. What else are you divining at this time? Isn't it unlucky to quit? Changsun Wuji's angry eyes widened and he shouted sternly. The person was initially panicked, but soon understood what Changsun Wuji meant. Right, right. No need for divination. Your Highness, it's all done. Li Shimin slowly scanned everyone's faces. They are the most talented scholars in the world. Now I have tied my life and fortune to myself alone. This is a big gamble. Neither of them has the qualification to lose. Li Shimin's gaze finally stopped on his wife Changsun. The Changsun family not only has a beautiful appearance. The mind has always been intelligent. He has always been Li Shimin's virtuous wife's assistant. She had been listening quietly by the side all along. I never interjected a word. Seeing Li Shimin looking at her this time. Slowly speaking. Your Highness has another question to consider. Since its establishment, the Tang dynasty has been governed by filial piety. If you accidentally injure your Majesty tomorrow, what should we do? How can your Highness explain to the people of the world? Not yet for Li Shimin to consider. Wei Qijingde stepped forward. I will be a villain, your Highness will be a good person. If tomorrow is not possible in front of your Majesty. I summoned an ambush and forced His Majesty to agree to His Highness becoming the Crown Prince. If there are any consequences, it's all up to me. From then on, the last concern was also dispelled. Everyone in the Crown Prince's mansion is preparing separately. Just waiting for tomorrow's dawn. We need to take action. Soon, only Li Shimin and Changsun were left in the room. Their child, Li Qingqian. sleeping soundly on the bed. He had no idea what kind of big thing his father was about to do. If he wins, he will also become his father's crown prince and become the owner of this beautiful land in the future. If he loses, his parents will die, everyone in the crown prince's mansion will die, and he will also die. Why is your highness silent? Changsun sat behind Li Shimin. Gently massage his body to relieve stress. I'm thinking about the fate of Jiancheng and Yuanji tomorrow. Your highness is worried that you won't be able to defeat them. No. I'm hesitating whether or not to kill them. Not killing, or there may be future troubles. Killing is an indelible curse that will never be washed away. Changsun stopped his hand movements. Also seriously considering this issue. For a long time, she smiled lightly and said, Your highness is so brave that if I don't believe it, I won't be able to come up with a way to achieve both. Li Shimin shook his head. Difficult. Unless. Unless for what? Chapter 9 The Air. The mountains and rivers I've built, Dad. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Unless they voluntarily surrender and completely give up on the throne. Changsun lightly nodded and did not answer any more. She also knows. This is a situation that will not happen in the final decision. In other words, His Highness, even if he succeeds, it is also destined to only be able to wear a bloody imperial robe. And then, forever carrying the blame. It is a great achievement. I can't wash away the stains on this body. Because this is the blood of loved ones. The next day, Li Shimin was under the guidance of General Chang He, the commander of the Imperial Guard, at the Xuanwu Gate in the north of the palace city. 800 soldiers were arranged to enter the Tai Chi Palace. He went straight to the Ganlu Hall to meet his father Li Yuan. Li Yuan saw the king of Qin coming in armor, with an unpleasant expression on his face. Can't help but ask. What the hell are you doing? Li Shimin looked straight into his father's eyes. Yesterday you showed me the secret report, saying that the king of Qin wanted to become the crown prince. That means I want to rebel. Rebellion is a capital offense. So I know that my deadline has come. Li Yuan hurriedly took 2 steps forward and defended himself, saying, I didn't say you rebelled. Li Shimin nodded. Good. Today at Tai Chi Palace, I am practicing for the king of Qi. The crown prince and the king of Qi have conspired to take action. King Qi, I will personally wield the sword against King Qin. Li Yuan was greatly surprised. How could this happen? But Li Shimin is very confident. Of course I did meticulous work, and what I said was accurate and accurate. If my father doesn't believe it, wait until the crown prince and King Qi arrive. If you want them to take off their court uniforms, they will wear dark armor. Li Yuan was momentarily stunned, tears filling his eyes. Have you reached this point, brothers? It's not that I, the king of Qin, have reached this step, but the crown prince and the king of Qi have reached this step. The crown prince held the military power in the capital, and the king of Qi was appointed as the commander of the marching army. And I, the king of Qin, only have personal followers in the capital. We only have 700 people left. Today is not my deadline. What is it? Li Yuan sat weakly on the couch. Sighing. To conquer the world, you have made the greatest contribution. At this stage of the matter, what do you think should be done? Li Shimin's gaze was serious, and he said word by word. Today, there is only one crown prince. Standing tall or standing tall, let me make a decision for your majesty. Li Yuanru was struck by lightning and his body stumbled. Do you want to kill them? Erlang. They are your own brothers. Just waiting for the intense confrontation between the two. The curtain between heaven and earth unfolds. One video after another appeared. Temporarily interrupted the tense atmosphere. The first few are okay. Qin, Han, and even the later Han and Three Kingdoms. Both are familiar dynasties. But later on, there were videos related to Yue Fei. The two couldn't help but feel frightened. Dynasties have changed from ancient times to the present. Everyone knows that it is an unavoidable thing. Just like Li Tang's world. Isn't it also taken from the Yang family? But the problem is that everyone will feel that their own family is an exception. Others may perish, but I won't. My foundation will be passed down for generations to come. Especially those who have driven emperors think so. But now, there has been a dynasty that the two have never heard of. Song. Does it mean that the Tang dynasty is gone? The two of them looked at each other. Li Shimin was even more reminded of what he was going to do today. Can't help but wonder if it's related to oneself. Is it oneself who caused the downfall of the Tang dynasty? But he couldn't bear to think too much. The guards outside come to report. Prince Li Jianqing has entered the Tai Chi Palace. Do you want to take action? Li Shimin immediately set aside his distractions. Reconstrain the mind. Send someone to take good care of Li Yuan. Take people to the target location for ambush. But sometimes things get mysterious here. While Li Shimin was on his way, Li Jianqing and Li Yuanji are riding horses. Appreciating this sudden appearance with great interest. Li Yuanji's dog-leg said. Big brother is going to get rid of the Qin king today, so this thing has appeared. It's really a sign of good luck. This time we will definitely succeed. Li Jianqing was somewhat indifferent and chuckled lightly, saying. He only has a few hundred soldiers, not to mention he doesn't even know we're going to take action. Even if you know, how can you stop me? Li Yuanji quickly agreed. The two of them laughed at each other. And precisely at this moment, a new video has appeared. The title is The Xuanwu Gate Incident. There can only be one crown prince today. Is it standing tall or standing tall? Let me make a decision for your majesty. Xuanwu Gate. A name that sounds familiar to me just passed by, isn't it? Xuanwu Gate. Subsequently, the two of them saw a scene 10,000 times more terrifying than a nightmare. In the video, Li Shimin summoned the people of the Crown Prince's mansion, negotiating plans to deal with them overnight. An action has already begun. The more they looked at it, the more frightened they became. Cold sweat broke out one after another. When we see the complete plan later on, they are like falling into an ice cellar. Big brother, this. We don't seem to have enough time to run now. Li Yuanji turned around to look at the tightly closed palace gate. I swallowed my saliva in fear and said. Li Jianqing is also sweating profusely. Are you about to be shot dead by the Qin king's arrow? Is this swelling okay? I am the crown prince, I am still young, I haven't lived enough yet. Both of them behaved in this way. Not to mention the soldiers behind them. See behind. Even the most foolish person can see that Li Shimin won in the end. Do they still need to resist? Thinking about surrendering directly. Can we lose half and stop killing the head? Not far away. Just arrived not long ago. Li Shimin, who is ready to bow and shoot arrows. After seeing the latest video. After a moment of shock, it broke through the defense a bit. What exactly is this? If you let everyone know, should I shoot or not shoot now? Chapter 10. Heavenly Con Super Burning Mixed Cutting, Two Brothers Sweat. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Consider for a moment. Li Shimin put down the arrow in his hand. That video is completely useless. At least let him know. He will surely win this action. So there's no rush to take action. Drive your horse forward. Li Jianqing and Li Yuanji ahead. I can't help but hold back my horse. They never expected it. The second son has such courage and action. Dare to kill 2 brothers in one day. This also includes the current crown prince. And it was also successful. This is too annoying, isn't it? Li Jianqing really wants to curse unfairly. But now life is in the hands of the second son. He dare not be too presumptuous. Big brother, third brother, you have also seen it. The outcome has been decided, let's surrender. Li Jianqing gritted his teeth, his eyes filled with unwillingness. He is only 1 step away from the dragon chair. Now let him give up. How could you possibly accept it? Li Yuanji, too. He has always helped the crown prince deal with the king of Qin. Although there is also one's own abacus inside. But the discord with the king of Qin is real. It can be imagined that it fell into the hands of the king of Qin. He will not have a good ending. So he had a sudden idea and angrily rebuked Li Erdeo. What a Qin king, trying to seize the throne. Not willing to kidnap my father and kill my flesh and blood brothers. Can you really sit firmly on such a throne as this? If you don't have a proper position, the world will definitely turn against you. My Tang dynasty foundation may be destroyed in your hands. So, it's you who should surrender. Before it turns out to be a big mistake, get off your horse quickly. Bind your hands and apologize to the crown prince. To be honest, Li Yuanji's words are both reasonable. It doesn't make sense either. Because no one can predict what hasn't happened yet. If it were before, Li Shimin would definitely treat him as farting. The Song dynasty that appeared in the previous video. But like a sharp thorn piercing his heart. Now listening to these unreasonable words, I can't help but believe 2 points. Can I really govern this country well with the throne I obtained through this means? Will the 4 seas surrender? Can the people live in peace? Li Jianqing immediately saw Li Shimin lost in thought. The flame of hope in my heart suddenly reignited. He also bewitched and said. King Qin, you really misunderstood Big Brother. You brought down this world. If you really want it, Big Brother won't refuse to give it to you. You and my brother have been together for so many years, maybe Big Brother really envied you. But I never thought of harming you. In my opinion, there must have been meticulous efforts to stir things up. Fortunately, this divine object descended from heaven, otherwise our brothers would have been almost separated by yin and yang. Li Shimin looked up at him. He doesn't believe a word of this statement. But he knew that this was the step given to him by the crown prince. If he wants to go back on his word. You can use this step to resolve misunderstandings along the way. And at this moment, the video just finished playing. A new video has appeared again. The title of this time is Standing in front of you are the Grand Commandant of the Tang Dynasty, the Minister of Works, the Minister of State, 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 the Minister of State of the Great Qingtai of Eastern Shaanxi Province, the Minister of State of the Great Qingtai of Yizhou Province, the Governor of Yongzhou, the General of the Left and Right Marquises of Wu, the General of the Left and Right 12 Guards, the State of Shangzhou, the King of Qin, the General of the Heavenly Strategy, the Heavenly Khan, and the Emperor of Emperor Taizong of the Tang Dynasty, Li Shimin #Li Tian Khan at the beginning of the video. It is the prosperous era, with thousands of ethnic groups coming to court. The envoy of a foreign country stood on the court. Respectfully said. May I give His Majesty the Emperor of Tang the title of Heavenly Khan. Li Shimin readily accepted it on the throne. The envoy from another country suddenly shouted. Long live the Heavenly Khan. Then came the scene of the prosperous Tang dynasty. The mellow and melodious voice slowly said. The summer of the 4th year of the Zhenguan reign. The chiefs of various ethnic groups in the north rushed to Chang'an one after another. Together, we offer an unprecedented honorific title to Li Shimin. Heavenly Sweat. Tian Khan is not only a form of honorific title and symbol. It is also a substantive political system. Li Shimin, as the emperor of the Tang dynasty, went down to the khaganate. Not only for the emperor of the Tang dynasty, the more revered king of all kings in the world, to express absolute obedience to the heavenly Khan. The enthronement of successors from various countries must be conferred by an edict issued by the heavenly Khan. The armies of various countries must accept the unified conscription of the heavenly Khan. Launch a sanction war for members who undermine peace. If necessary, they may also accept conscription and go to the Central Plains to quell the rebellion. A glorious and glorious era of the heavenly Khan. This marks the beginning. Throughout his life, he established himself in the Central Plains and expanded his borders. Xiaoming covers all corners of the world, serving all nations. Under his rule, there was nothing left to be seen. Night stays open, the Yi Xia family, the Silk Road is smooth. The Chinese nation has finally taken an unprecedented stance. Once again won worldwide respect and honor. Everyone was stunned by the sight. For Xi's guest service, Wanbang coming to Korea. How could someone in the world achieve such a magnificent scene? Throughout history, no emperor has achieved such a feat, and now, this person is standing in front of them. Are you in a proper position ahead of such achievements? What is that thing? Li Jiancheng and Li Yuanji looked at each other. They all saw the same meaning in the other person's eyes. Brother, I'm sweating profusely now. It's better to have the second son shoot us to death just now. I didn't shoot to death this time, but the society died.